recovered?
Oh, I'm still tired, man.
Yeah, I know
Still
that
tired.
feeling. Like, I think it was a daft move deciding to go home, but
Well,
trying to stay awake on the motorway, driving at midnight with all the windows down.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh.
Mine was just 2 back-to-back weekends of cornhole and drinking beer. Oh,
Got a few weeks off before Switzerland now.
yeah, and I'm gonna need all of them. Gonna need all of them for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I did manage to lie around and pretty much do nothing yesterday and watch nothing but ACL Open number 8 from the ABQ, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah, that was my Sunday. Just lay there on the sofa, just not move, apart from for food.
Yep. Sounds about like my day.
Yeah.
I got up twice to let the dog out. Well, let's get into it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Cash Chamness picking up a title.
Yeah, I should have gone with my heart on that one when we were going through a prop toss. Said I wanted to pick him, and then my head told me to pick the field.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying I'm rooting against the kid, or not that I'm not. I don't have faith in the kid, but there was a lot of good kids in the field.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot.
I mean, Sammy Soto was in that bracket, and he not long won an Open. So
yeah, I mean, Sammy Soto, Gavin Cano, Logan Dupler, Zach Aiken,
yeah,
all them guys. So I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, Cash is always going to play well. The kid, he puts in the work. We know that. I mean, he looked good in regular singles as well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
good to see him finally get one.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be saying his name a lot to continue throughout the season. That's for sure.
Definitely. He'll start becoming. Give it time. He'll start becoming that constant one where, we're just picking him.
I mean, much like we did with Ryan Trader at the beginning of the season. Now, obviously, he wasn't there this weekend, but you know, I think this year is going to be a lot of kids winning.
Yeah,
I just do, and yeah, it's tough. It's tough when all these kids got to do is go to school and then come home and play some cornhole, man.
Yeah, not like us working folk who try and practice once a week.
Yeah, and you see, the thing with us is too, all these kids got facilities. I mean, Cash Chamness's dad is the owner of BG Bags, dude.
Yeah,
they have a facility. They've got a facility. He can practice in any, the weather conditions don't affect him.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably essentially just employed by his dad to be chief bag tester.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Got a new set of bags here, son. Go try them. Let me know.
For sure. I think Kingslayers is the newest brand or newest series out by BG, and I'm in the market for some new bags because I've noticed where my swag bag bazookas are starting to get a little thin on the edge, and it looks like they may be getting close to that breaking point because I do throw a lot. So I just happened to be looking and I heard a lot of the name, a lot of Kingslayer out there this weekend. So, but they're like all sold out almost, man. It's much like it's like the Cats used to be with cornhole scenario, man. Always just sold out.
Yeah, maybe we need to start knocking on a few doors. Look, we're 11 episodes in. We've not had any sponsors yet. Come on, let's have some free bags. We'll promote your brand.
Hey man, to be honest, dude, I really like my swag bags, so I'm gonna probably get another set of those bazookas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like them. I like the way they feel in my hand. I mean, I like my BG Witchers, but I do like them swag bags a lot. But anyway, that's a whole other discussion, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, man. Much like you with Cash, I went against the logical pick for ladies singles, and I did not pick Cheyenne Bubenheim.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think more so just I really hoped it was Miranda Coy's weekend.
Yeah.
I really hoped that. Again, not rooting against Cheyenne, but I hoped it was Miranda's weekend. And it just wasn't meant to be. And of course, Cheyenne gets, she just, even when she loses, man, she just comes back stronger and stronger and
Yeah.
stronger.
Did it the hard way. Lost the first game and all the way back there. I mean, I think she got revenge along the way in the losers bracket.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just a thing. And I don't know if I will ever not pick her now. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? If her name's on it, I'm probably just picking it, man. I truly am, because I think, God, I can't. She's every time I haven't picked her, she's won the daggum thing. So, and then, but in doubles, Miranda Coy and Lori Dool did pull it off.
Yeah. And they beat Cheyenne and Gina Ramirez along the way twice, I think.
Yep.
And they were the team to beat, going for 4-peat.
Oh yeah. Gina
Yeah.
and
So,
Cheyenne.
but
Yeah,
we both picked Miranda and Lori to win that. So
we did.
we were both actually on that one.
Yeah. So Miranda, if you're out there listening, you and Lori want to come on? Let's have a conversation.
Yeah. And then in the seniors,
Steve Schroeder.
I went for Steve Schroeder. Yeah. Yeah. Swept the weekend, but winning the singles, and then him and Jerry Lockwood took down the doubles.
He did, and he looked good. I watched a
Yeah.
few of Steve's matches when I was
Yeah.
watching seniors, and he's just fairly consistent, just
Yeah.
nonstop, like bang, bang, bang. You know, he could run bags, but he'll throw up a block and do just fine with that too.
I mean, I know the easy pick always seems to be like Frank or Damon Dennis, but he's posing that question mark now. I think that's might be his second Open of the year. He's won. I could be wrong. It might be more. I don't know, but
I mean,
yeah, he's putting the question out there. He's like, hang on, like put my name in the mix now.
Oh, 100%. And if his name's on there, it'll be a hard one to not ever pick him again.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure, we had the pleasure of talking to and hanging out with Frank a bit in Paris. So
yeah,
he's probably one of the nicest guys on the whole ACL circuit. But I don't know if his time has come. We keep saying, it's always, you think of a Damon Dennis, which I'll agree with. Oh, you think of Frank Modlin. And I'm not counting Frank out. I'm not. He still can play, and he can still outplay me any day of the week and twice on Sundays. But I don't know if he's like last year, man, in the senior division. It was his first year on the senior division, and he was just head and shoulders above because he wasn't far removed from playing against the best in the world on a regular basis. And all these seniors get into open singles as well. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, he was up there competing. And now I don't know if it's that sophomore slump of being in seniors, but he's not performing at the level we've grown accustomed to. So I don't know if I can continue to put his name in the mix with like, ooh, who could win this weekend? Until he shows me a better run, I don't know if I can, to be perfectly honest. And that sucks to say, man. I hate saying that because I like Frank. He's such a good guy.
Yeah.
And then, we move on over to doubles on Saturday. And I will say this. From the first match I watched on the broadcast till the finals, I don't know if I ever thought that Cano and Soto weren't going to win it all.
Yeah.
Seriously. And I know I can sit there and say that because they did win it all. But I'm telling you right now, I just thought, oh my God. I think me and you messaged each other about it. Like they just looked good.
Yeah.
Like they just looked good the whole time, man. They just threw really well. I think they're complementing each other really well in throwing. both from Texas, so they get to practice together and be around each other.
Yeah, it was like that
Yeah.
open from a few weeks ago with the blind draw when you seen Jimmy partnered up with Easy.
Yeah.
You just knew they were just gonna go through
Right.
it. I mean, Jimmy, the shot of the season so far along the way. Like it was just
Well,
one of them days where you just watch it and you just knew like everything was clicking and they were just gonna go the distance.
yeah. They look good, man. They look good. Yeah. They're gonna be a tough team to beat.
Yeah.
I I don't know if they're just feeling the hangover from the world championship, but Trey and Adam have just kind of I I hate using the word, but it's just been kind of very disappointing,
Yeah.
their performances. Now there were some teams out there this weekend that normally don't partner up. I guess there's a few teams they were talking about that just kind of partnered up last minute type deal, or just decided to partner up because they just happened to be going there and their normal partners weren't. But yeah, I mean, Soto and Cano having, they're playing together all year, and they're definitely going to be worth watching. It's going to be exciting. I mean, honestly, if I was to make an early prediction on world championship, man, I'd probably put them right there in the top 3 mix.
Yeah, I can go with that.
I mean,
I think my top 3. I'd go. I don't think I'd have an order right now, but my top 3 would be them: Mark Richards and Tony Smith.
yep.
And then I'd go Jamie Graham and Jacob Trzynski. They'd probably be my top 3 teams. I think one of them 3 wouldn't surprise me. And then
at a real close number 4, I like your top 3, and I'd probably about pick the same. I might switch out 3 with I still gonna put Trey and Adam up there because until it happens,
yeah,
they are the world champions.
yeah. And I mean, we've seen it in past seasons during when it's the Opens. Like some teams are just not there. As soon as it gets into that signature series of events, majors, whatever you call them, they're just bang, and they turn it on. Yeah, and then they just go and tear. So,
but I will say, because we changed our format this weekend to a little round limited. We went back to 21 for bracket, but in rounders we had that round limited, and for the ACL event, man, that was kind of the highlight. Is you watched some of these matches that were on 14 round limited, and there were some good matches that were like, oh my God, who's going to win? We're going into sudden death, man. We got like next point wins, and oh crap, round 10. Oh my God, I gave up 2 points. How am I going to make this back?
Yeah, it makes it interesting. Like it's that situation. Instead of like just board it's like, damn, I need to hit this male drag, otherwise, mathematically, I'm done. Type thing.
But you think because you give up 2 points in a round limited game, and you're professional like that, you don't have the luxury of washing for 15 rounds.
Yeah.
You got to make something happen. So I mean, the first match out the gate on juniors was ended up going into 4 rounds of sudden death.
Yeah.
And what a good match it was, but yeah, so it was cool, man. It was cool. And I personally, at first, I didn't know how I felt about the round limited. But the more the season goes on and the more I've watched some of these opens that have round limited, I really like it because it means every round is extremely important. Every round. And it to me, it's gotten really exciting to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then, we move over to singles. And again, a kid wins it all. He won high school doubles this weekend as well, but Zach Aiken, he beat Mark Richards in the final. And
Mark going fifth.
Yeah, if he'd have won, he would have gotten his 21st title to tie him with Trey Birchfield, and he would have been the first this year to go back to back in open wins. So, but it wasn't meant to be, man. Zach Aiken in the semifinals against Logan Chamberlain, obviously he wasn't on the broadcast court. So, watching the Mark Richards and Logan Dupler match, and they're talking about how, I don't know, mid rounds, Logan Chamberlain's up 4-0 on Zach Aiken. And literally 2 rounds later, it was 10-4 Zach.
Yeah.
And then you watch him in the finals against Mark Richards, and he goes down again.
Yeah.
And then just picked away, and waited for that mistake, and then capitalized. And I kind of felt bad for Mark. I did. But at the same time, Lucky Bags was the winner out of that one, weren't they?
Yeah.
Both throwing lucky bags. I mean, if you're Mike Hennessy, you're going, I win no matter what.
Yeah, and then obviously, as we mentioned earlier, the women's doubles, they're lucky bag throws as well. So
yeah, I mean, actually, if I'm not mistaken, I did see it, I think, because I follow a few of these different bag companies and obviously following Miranda and Lori and all them. But if I'm not mistaken, on the weekend, Lucky Bags had 8 podiums. So, I mean, which was ironic considering this weekend's event was brought to you by Ultra Bags. And I don't remember seeing a single Ultra Bag up there.
no.
I mean, a lot of BGs and a lot
there always a lot of BGs around, it seems.
And I mean, there was a few Brotherhood. I mean, obviously, Tony Forbes throws Brotherhood. Ethan Walker was in the mix with Cornhole Scenario, but overall, I mean, a lot of VGs and a lot of Luckies. So I think they're putting people on check, going, "Hey, man, if you want to be on a champion team, this is what we're doing." And I mean, usually all cornholes are in the mix, but this weekend, I don't know if it's because of the event and a lot of guys didn't go, but there wasn't a ton of. I don't remember seeing a ton of all cornhole. I don't know if most of their team didn't go or what, but I don't know. But yeah, congratulations to Zach Aiken. He threw a hell of a weekend for sure.
Yeah.
He had some good shots too. I watched him have one bar of soap that I think it's going to be up there giving old Jimmy a run for his money for shot of the year. He had a couple good shots, but yeah, it was a good weekend for cornhole, man, out in the ABQ. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think back on matches that I turned on and I wasn't like, let me fast forward through this match.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to the whole round limited, because then it makes every match that much more exciting. I'm not going to get into a match where I'm, and don't get me wrong, a 30, 40 round match can be fun to watch, but you're not getting into that. Somebody's got to make a move. Something's happening.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it in 14.
Right. Yeah. And like myself, Pete, I like that dirty sort of game to play. So I'm guilty occasionally, like, but it's one of them games, and it's just it's 2 bag runners, and it's just the only points are when a bag's slightly off to the side. I don't want to watch 10 rounds in a row of a 12-12 watch.
No,
it doesn't. It's not what I play, so it doesn't appeal to me the same. This round limited, I find it a lot more exciting to watch, especially when there's then situations where it's like, right, I need to make some shit happen now. So you see these crazy shot attempts and
and I think that for me. I don't mind the 12-12 wash if there's some exciting shots to get there. If it's just running bags over and over and over,
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm like, that's awesome. Good for you guys. I wish I could do it.
Yeah.
But it's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
Fun to watch is a good airmail drag, a coin slot, someone rolling over and just barely like getting it in there, and you see every bag kind of move, but none of them drop, and you're like, oh yeah, that was awesome. And then someone, comes in and smashes it and cleans it all up, and you still get a 12-12 wash. Stuff like that I like. But yeah, just running bags, and while I wish I could do it, I cannot. And that's not the most exciting thing to watch for me. But like you said, when you get 14 round limited, you got to make something happen. And you see, and that was the thing too. In commentators, it was Michelle Thompson and Jake Brennan, who is starting to grow on me. I will say. I know I was kind of harsh on him early in the season, but the more I watch,
hot mic gate
huh?
with the hot mic.
Yeah, but the more I watch him, he is pretty funny. And now, the more I do watch, and the way I hear him, and the way he is with those guys in the truck, I do think it was kind of a bullshit thing. Like I think he was just bullshit, and not being real serious. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, so they were talking about how people all of a sudden, hey, we got to throw up this block because you got to try to make someone miss. You can't just keep running it in because they're all going to run it in. Yeah. So it was fun to watch and had people that normally don't throw up, blocks very often have to throw up blocks. And then you saw the people that could either push and collect everything or try to roll. And then you get into the rolls and people are missing rolls. And then it becomes more exciting because then you're like, oh man, this could be a 5-point round or a 6-point round. And then some miracle happens and it ends up being, a 1-point round. Yeah. Or whatever, but yeah. Good times. Good times. It was an exciting weekend, like I said. And then, they're taking the week off. They said they're doing the Super Bowl experience.
Yep.
So they said every night this week they'll be broadcasting something from New Orleans. I would imagine they'll do some of the pro-am things. What do they call it? They call it something else.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember what they call it, where they team up with like football players or celebrities and they play a tournament and stuff. So I'm interested in seeing that. I know that ain't for everybody, but for me, I'm kind of excited to be able to just throw it on in the background and be like, oh, cool, let's watch these little things because I enjoy it. So hopefully, get some other people out there watching it and they can see what some of these guys are all about. But well, should we get on with the guest for the week?
Yeah, well, just waiting on him jumping on. So hopefully he'll be here any second now. Those who don't know, he's the nicest man in UK cornhole.
He is.
He goes by Grandad Jon, which I think is quite a fitting name because he is just like a granddad to everybody in the cornhole community. Here he is.
Or the Wizard.
Yeah, or the Wizard.
Jon,
how you doing?
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Can't hear you, bud.
Okay.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear
Hear me
that.
now.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
How you doing?
To turn you up so I can hear you guys.
How you doing, bud?
Yeah, all good, thanks.
Yeah. What are you about? You're 75 today, right?
60 soon.
60. That's not a bad age.
No, I've lasted well.
You still got a few years to go.
Hopefully, yeah.
The key is making it at least 9 more just so you can get to that number. I'm just teasing. Well, happy birthday, bud.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we have actually got.
Before we get started with some cornhole, we got a couple messages for you.
Yeah, so Ben would, on behalf of you guys at Ashby, I'd just like to say from all the baggers, what a privilege it is to have such a lovely man involved with the club. He willingly gives his support, advice, and coaching to anyone who will listen and wants nothing in return. A true legend of the UK circuit and an excellent player, and just a lovely all-round bloke. Thanks for all the help you have given us in getting us going and improving the standard of cornhole in Ashby.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I've made the trip to Ashby on a club night occasionally. I've seen it, so I know exactly what he's on about there. Like, I think you're very instrumental, you and Tony, with helping them come on. Like, because obviously you two were the experienced players when they first started, and I'm sure you've coached everybody in that club at some point. So
it's a real privilege to sort of just to be part of that club. I mean, the guys there are brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, it's, just the friendship that you get from these guys, it's amazing.
Yeah. And then I've got a couple more. I've got one here from Adam Sanderson. He'd like to wish you happy birthday. He says you're an absolute gentleman and legend of the league, and he hopes to be back soon commenting on your games. And then one more from your he called himself your cornhole son. So Danny Goodyear. He says you're always the first person he goes to for a chat when he turns up at a tournament. You're always there with open arms, and says you're always there with advice, whether it's cornhole related or not. So he'd like to wish you happy birthday as well.
No, that's
and
great.
then obviously from us too.
Yeah.
And
No,
hey,
lovely.
on behalf of my club, we all want to say happy birthday, bud. You are a great guy. You're a legend of the game out here in the UK, and we enjoy having you on the circuit for sure.
Yeah, and like just before you come on, we said like your Instagram handle's Grandad John, isn't it? So you are just the granddad of the community. You're just such a nice bloke.
Before
and I still
winter
feel
came
bad for
along,
knocking you out of that little just bought it game from the previous tournament.
Yeah, before I was granddad until I went online with the ACO one day, and Steffi B, she got my name wrong. Well, she pronounced it completely wrong, and she asked if that was right, and I said, well, it's not right, but it's way cooler than Wishart to be the wizard. Right.
No, we like it.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, everybody.
Absolutely. Well, what'd you think about this weekend, man? UKCL qualifier number 3.
It was quality, wasn't it?
It was.
It was a good event. It's shaken things up a little bit as well.
It has.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a few risers. There's been a few drop. You know, some big names have gone down a little bit, and some of the quiet guys have sort of jumped up. I mean, Babs.
Yep.
Up in 5th, and he's jumped 16 places in the league. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's because everybody's scared of him. He's got arms bigger than everybody else's legs. Like he just puts fear into people.
Yep. That's a factual statement.
But isn't that brilliant? You know, these people. Yeah. You go to your own club, you play, you know, and you don't know where you're coming, because everybody else is moving on. And okay, you might rise in your own club, but you don't know until you get there how your level is anymore.
Yeah, and yourself, you had a good weekend yourself with a 7th place finish.
Scoreholio was kind to me. I didn't come across any of the bigger names early on, so I took a hit. Mark Pally, he and I went 26 rounds, I think.
Yeah.
And he beat me 21-19, and that dropped me into the losers bracket, which gave me a nice run of games. I was shattered, but I hadn't had my afternoon kit like I normally do.
Yeah, well, you say Scoreholio was kind to you. Like it must have been wondering what I'm going on, because every time I seem to win a game, it's the tablet will freeze on me. It's like, is this right? it's you've just tried to put in a Graham win. What's going on?
Yeah, I think the guys they've got their 5G router on, but I think they were struggling for signal for it updating through online.
Yeah, you and Mark went 26 rounds.
Yeah.
Just getting your money's worth.
Well, yeah, make them wait. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Nobody was in a hurry, were they?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it definitely showcased that the level of the quality of play is definitely rising. Yeah. I know we talk about it every week, how everybody's getting better and all these things, but I think it really showed this weekend. I mean, I said early on after rounders, and getting up to through the bracket, that if you would have started the day and you would have went and asked anybody in that building if Alistair was going to be sitting king seat, I don't care what anybody says or what, there's not one person that would have said yes.
No.
Not when, it's nothing against Alistair, but not when you're talking Richard Blank being there, Liam being there, Daniel Lilly being there. You're just not, yes, he is improving, and he's improved a great deal, and I'm taking nothing away from him. He played fantastic. He kicked the crap out of me. But when you talk about like those three guys that have been mainstays in the podium since they've been in the UKCL, I don't think anybody would have picked Alistair to sit king seat.
No, I know from playing at Alistair, his game's come on tremendously.
Sure.
And I think the way the building was, it was very quiet for that final. If he'd have had some noise around him, and once Ali sort of picks up on the vibe, he's just unplayable. The guy is an absolute star, really. But like you say, nobody would have tipped it. I'd have had him as my dark horse to come somewhere near the top. But,
right.
You'd have said Richard and Liam, wouldn't you? But they met in the rounds before. So
yeah, but I wouldn't have picked Nick and Alistair to be top two coming out of rounders.
No.
I suppose that's the beauty of us changing it to that round limited format as well. It changes things.
Did you guys like that?
I do.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, we do it at Ashby when we're doing sort of an open competition where everybody's playing together. When we do sort of like a tiered thing on SPR or whatever, we generally do 21 points. But we do the round limiting, and it throws a few curveballs in there.
Yeah, we just based on limited time on our Tuesday night practices, we always do round limited. We have to. If we don't have enough time to get through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've gotten fairly used to playing round limited. I enjoy it because it does. We were talking about this before you came on, because this weekend's ACL Open number 8 was all round limited, 14 rounds. And it forces people to do things that they normally wouldn't do. So you're not going to get these guys that just run bags, because you got to make something happen, because you've only got 14 rounds to win. So I like the round limited because it forces people out of their comfort zone a little bit and forces people to try things that they may not necessarily do it. I mean, like I said, Ali beat me pretty bad in our rounders match, but also knowing that it was round limited, I shot a couple of shots that I probably might not have otherwise, and gave up some big points because I was like, "Ooh, I've got to make some points back." So I had to go for something. I had to shoot something, and not that I would have won, but it might have been a closer match if it wouldn't have been round limited.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, man. But I enjoyed it. I really like round limited.
I think going forward, we're going to Colville, is it, for the next round? I'm hearing that it's 8 courts, 8 badminton courts big, so they should have enough room for double we had. So hopefully
we having 16 courts in there, wouldn't we?
Yeah, so I mean we had 10,
possibly more. Yeah,
but yeah, so it might be that time-wise it'll be a lot easier with more courts. So maybe they won't have to do that. But yeah, it does throw another factor into it.
I think the factor in the next one's going to be that magic number that Ben's mentioned a few times of 64 people being the limit before he has to tier it.
Yeah.
I don't think we're many events away from that being a problem for him.
No, I mean,
we were down a few people this weekend because they just couldn't make it because for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you think we had 55, 56?
Yeah.
And we could have easily, we had one guy had to fly back to the States. Floyd, our resident grandfather in our club, he was, he had prior commitments this weekend. And then we had a couple other guys that just couldn't make it this weekend. And there's 3 or 4 right there. That puts
there was only me and Dan from Manchester, so there's another
couple.
Yeah, so Marv, Danny,
Yeah,
Wally. So there's another three. So I think we'll get to that number of 64 at some point soon.
Yeah, it was great to see all the blue shirts. The Solent people.
Oh, Dave's club, yeah, Dave
sure.
and Jared, yeah,
for sure.
Go back a couple of months, there was no Solent club, and
it was just Jared and Dave.
Yeah,
that's
great. And you've got the family. I played.
Was it Gedner?
Yeah,
that's the name.
It just typifies what cornhole is. That you've got a whole family. That's it. Lorraine.
Yeah. You played Lorraine, yeah.
But it's great to see those guys bringing on the sport in another area of the country.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly, man. It was good to see more people out there, and it continued to grow, man. That's the key. That is the key.
You guys at Bury, I think you sort of set the standard to start off with, didn't you? With what Matt sort of put together up there.
Yeah.
I think Manchester sort of did it similarly at the same time, but it never grew quite as big. Then Ashby came along and boom, and Dave's doing it in the Solent. Then you've got the guys up in Scotland, up north.
You got Chris.
Greg's putting in that work trying to build that club for sure.
Yeah, it's growing and growing all over the country.
There you got Chris in Newcastle, and then Charlotte's trying to get a little club up and going for the kids. So
a junior club.
Yeah, she gave me just a little bit of merch at the weekend, which very kind of her. So thank you, Charlotte, if you're listening.
Thank you, Charlotte. I hope you enjoyed your Royal Rumble on Saturday night.
I didn't enjoy the result.
I haven't even seen yet. Go on. Who won?
Jey Uso.
Huh?
Jey Uso.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, back to some cornhole.
Yeah.
All right. So, John, who was your biggest surprise on the weekend, bud? Okay, let me rephrase that. Who was your biggest surprise on the good side, and who was your biggest surprise on the way down?
Okay, so Babs, you obviously see him play week on week.
Sure.
So you'll know that he's coming up. But if you look back at his history, I did a little bit of routing, and he's had 33rd, 17th, 17th, 5th. I mean, that's good going,
For sure.
Lovely guy. Played him in Ashby a couple of rounds ago, and yeah, he's obviously come on. Who else? Star of the day, Cooper.
Oh, yes. Cooper is something else, man. She's such a good kid, and she works hard at it too.
Yeah, I mean, to have the guts to come out and play against ugly buggers like us, on the court.
You're talking about me. I had to play in bracket. Talking about this ugly bugger.
Anybody who knocked her out 21-0 needs to be kicked out of the league, I say.
You say that, John, but we treat her like any other club member.
Yeah.
So the first couple of times when we played doubles, Micah would always make sure that she was his partner. So none of us had to have the disappointment of having her as a partner. And I had to tell him, right? I mean, very early on, I was like, man, you can't do that. She's a part of the club. We will all take our turns being partners with her. And that's the only way she's going to get better and improve is playing with different people.
Yeah, I've messaged Micah. I mean, met the family, great family.
Absolutely.
I messaged Micah afterwards, sort of talking about some of the things that we do at Ashby when we get the younger ones come in, about sort of helping them on how we do it, you know, and that sort of thing. So hopefully, I mean, they're talking about going to the ACO event,
yeah,
and juniors for her, because we don't actually have a juniors scoring in our league, but we don't actually have a juniors competition where it's junior on junior.
Sure.
We're not enough yet. But yeah, I mean, what a little star. Absolutely.
Yeah. And she's such a good kid. She really is. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
So who's your surprise on the way down, man?
Oh, that's hard to talk about, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not that you. I'm just saying that maybe didn't live up to what expectations you might have had for
him. I guess the biggest shock for me was Ben Shaw.
I think that's all three of us.
Yeah. I mean, we love Ben. But
I do.
I think part of it is it's just that bigger field now, and the standard of everybody. You do have your elite, sort of your pack of your elite, but I think everybody else is that close that it's just any given Sunday type thing. Like anybody can beat anybody with the rest of the pack.
I mean, for me to come 7th is a shock. You know, I don't look at where I am at all, or to try and work anything out during the day until the point where I'm out, and then I'll have a flick through and think, I thought, no, absolutely.
I think that's the right way to do it. Like I've been guilty of once we're in bracket, I start looking and I'm like, right, if we'll play them next, like, forget them, then I've got them, and then that, and then start looking at it, and I get in my own head, and then before I know it, I'm not concentrating and I've lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went 3-2 in bracket. I didn't even, honest to God, I was surprised I finished 13th because I didn't look at that all day long. I didn't even look at any stats all day long. I just waited to get my notification and I went and played.
Yeah. I think once you get into the losers bracket, you don't have time to look.
Because
game after game after game after game.
I remember thinking, because if y'all remember, that's what I had to do in the first qualifier. If y'all remember, I lost that first match in bracket to Ollie, and then I went game like I'm setting my bag like before I even got them picked up from the last game. Notifications already coming through. Time to play.
Then you have like 3 on the bounce on the feature court, where it's like, nope. Yep. No, you're not allowed to go get a beer yet. You're back on.
when I lost to John Steins in bracket, my first thought to myself was, all right, the marathon begins. And bang, 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 you know. So yeah, I kind of started getting to where, and I think last weekend in Slovenia and stuff, that I got to stay out of that. Like I just got to play. I can't be looking at stats. I can't be because then I start thinking about it and thinking about, you know, instead of playing in that moment, I'm thinking, okay, I need to do this because I did it badly last time, rather than just go out there, play every game as an individual game. So I stopped looking at it. I'm much like you, John. I'm like, nah, I ain't looking at it until the end.
Yeah. And I think that, like I said sort of earlier on, Scoreholio was kind to me. It wasn't kind to everybody. And, you know, if you come up against the guys who are going to be sort of top 3, if you take 2 of those in rounders, you're gone. And, you know, your day can be over in 2 games.
Yeah.
And, you know, the rounders beforehand, Ben was 3rd, I think. You know, he'd done 3 out of 3, he'd won, and then came across some hard draws in the first couple of rounds, and boom, you know, the Scoreholio wasn't coming.
I thought overall, and again, this is no slight on Ben Gregory or any of them guys. I don't know what happened within the Scoreholio system that had that bracket kind of lay out the way it did. It was a weird. There was some weird things. Like I didn't think that those guys would have been necessarily on the same side of the bracket or had to play these guys that quick in. It was it just looked weird to me.
I mean, it's sort of very, very random, isn't it?
But then I suppose with the rounders being round limited, the seeding of the rounders will be probably different to if it was the 21, because obviously you might have them games where they've gone the full distance, but the final scoreline's only like a 9-7 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it
then
matters.
obviously it takes the points into account, doesn't it, along with the wins?
For sure.
So I'd say your seedings were, I don't want to say skewed, they were just different.
Yeah. And that's what I'm
Probably.
saying. It was a weird,
Yeah.
it was a weird thing, but I didn't think about that. It would affect it a great deal by round limited. But yeah, but still, I mean, it just goes to show you got to be on, and you know, to be the best, you got to beat the best. Whether it's in the first round or the last round, you got to play them. You got to beat them.
Yeah,
you got to be on your game all the time, don't you?
Well, you should go into every game play to win. And if your ability, I always say, you know, I ran out of ability because I do that regularly. You saw me do it against your pal Tom. You know, to go 12, 13-0 up and then lose a game, I ran out of talent. So you've got to be there to be it.
For sure. Graham, who's your surprises?
It's same as John on the bad side, Ben. Like obviously a few tournaments ago he had that third place finish, and John sees it every week how consistent and how good Ben is. I've made the trip occasionally on a Tuesday night gone there, so I've seen how good he is. So to see him finish that low down was a bit of a surprise. But then also, like I've said, you've got them elites in it, and then the rest of the pack, it is just any day, anybody can beat anybody. I think with like the sort of group, the next sort of 20 players. So it just wasn't his day.
Yeah.
And then on the good side, I'm going to go with Ian. He had some really good come from behind victories back to back against Dave Murray and then against Nick. So, yeah. And then unfortunately, I think he just, I don't know whether they just took it out. Them two grueling games took it out of him or what. But I think his next game was John Steins, and he just maybe he just ran out of steam a bit.
Yeah, I had Ian in the bracket, and once again I sort of go ahead, and he just stuck to his plan. Air mails, absolute beauties. We were clogging up the board, and you know he battled back. You know, he's another player that's come on leaps and bounds, and Vicky. Yeah. You know, so
she nearly destroyed me.
I mean, to go 18,
I think she was 18-1 up. Like she got first bag, and just every time it was just that inch perfect block, and my airmail was off that day, so I don't have a roll shot really. So can't do that. I couldn't cut round it. It's just nothing. I'm just missing these airmails, and I think I finally hit one where she got a bag half, sort of a quarter to half in the hole. I took my time out. I went and looked at it. So I think somebody in the crowd shouted to just board it. But I said, no, I'm going to go for the airmail. And then I hit it. I think it got me a point. And I think that was a confidence booster I needed for that game. And just getting that first bag so that I can try to control the game from there. But she was playing a perfect block game against me up until that point.
Yeah.
And she had even after I'd come back with it, she had a bag to win it. Unfortunately, it just went off. And then she nearly hit in the final round. She had to hit an airmail to save the game, and I think it lipped out. But even I was pulling for her to hit the airmail just so we go more rounds. Like I was enjoying that game. And the fact that the live stream wasn't working, I was a bit disappointed because I'd love to have gone back and watched it.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I Babs for sure, but mine is Tom. I just happened to run into Tom on Friday night and was like, "Hey man, we're playing a tournament tomorrow." He hadn't been to club night and thrown a bag in about a year, so he just came out of nowhere, and I thought, "Dang, this guy's got it going on," and he played really well. But again, yeah, my surprise on the way down was just Ben. Sorry, Shaw. We love you, Wookie, but yeah, it just wasn't your day, and it kind of surprised all of us that you fell so far. And yeah, I'll give shout out to Ian all day. And I think you say, did he run out of steam? Or, I think you win a couple matches like that against guys that you haven't beaten before and things like that. That adrenaline dump can really mess you up, man. Because it's all of a sudden you're just like, you just feel drained because that adrenaline.
Yeah.
So
Well,
high.
I remember watching his game against Nick on the feature court. Like, he just won a big round against Nick. I think it was like an 8-point round. And you're thinking, like, they both just took the time that next round. They both just had a little chat. And I think they probably both needed that. Ian's got that adrenaline dump because he just won a big round to get back in it. Nick needs to regroup.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Tom, for sure, though, he went 0 for 3, didn't he, in the rounders?
Yeah.
And I'm obviously I've never met. Has he played in UK before?
I believe he played in one of them last year, but I don't remember which one.
I don't remember him as a character sort of thing, but 0 for 3. You're not going to rank him. But boy, did he come through!
Yeah.
The game that I had with him, he just stuck to his game plan, and I sort of halfway to the win, and he chip came back at me, and yeah, and I was out.
I mean, so much so when I told him about the tournament Friday night, he's like, "Yeah, but you got some bags I can borrow?" I was like, "Yeah, no problem, man. I'll bring some bags."
That Oklahoma magic.
And he pulled out them stuff soaking series, Oklahoma style, dude. And he got picked up for pilot training for the F-15s. And one of the options of where he could go into pilot training for the Air Force is Vance Air Force Base in Enid, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So maybe it was foreshadowing.
Meant to be.
I mean, with him finishing where he did it, that me would get one of my predictions for the weekend, right? When we did a top 3 and surprise, like, my surprise was one of the new faces breaking the top 10, and we had 2 do that. So we had obviously Tom and then Eric,
Yeah.
Oh,
Monday,
Eric Monday.
the Canadian. Two new players this season, and they both broke into the top 10.
Yep, the Canuck.
Yeah.
He threw well. So is he part of y'all's club, John?
Say again.
Is he a part of Ashby?
No. He lives somewhere down near the Solent guys.
Oh, okay.
I saw his name come up, and I messaged him to see sort of if he was part of one of the clubs, and David said he wasn't from there. So I think he's been in touch with Dave, and that would be his local club.
Okay. Yeah.
Good to see more new faces.
Indeed.
The web of UK cornhole spreading. That's what we want to see.
It is. And that's a good thing. Hopefully we can get, good numbers. Because I don't root against the ACO, so I hope there's good numbers there. I hope we can break that 64 mark at qualifier 4. And then, we'll get into the national championships. And then coming out of that, man, I hope a lot of you guys in the UK will come on down to Bury again and play in the ACL event in July.
I think with the 2 international tournaments with the ACO and the ACL, trying to get people to support those, because if we don't support them, they're not going to keep coming.
No, that's right.
Ton already told us, man. He's like, we love coming to the UK, but if it's only going to be a few of you guys that are hosting and all the Europe guys, we can just add another tournament in Europe and it's more accessible for everybody. So he really wants to see a lot of the UK guys from around.
Yeah,
the
we
UK
need to
So we're hoping.
put bums in the courts,
I
bums
mean,
on seats, so to speak.
I know a couple of the US guys that are trying to come over. Dean Norton was over here last year with his family. He's already told me that he's trying to come back again this year for it. I'm pretty sure Sean Farrell's trying to come back.
I think that'll be dependent on what his back's like, won't it? I know he's either due or he's had surgery, hasn't he?
Yeah, he had a back surgery. He says he's doing better. I know Denny Mallon is about 99% sure he's coming for the UK event. So we'll get a few more American pros out here, I think. But yeah, hopefully the idea is to get, if you could even get half of the UK guys that showed up this weekend to come down and play. And I'm hoping that'll happen, especially now that they're seeing themselves perform better and perform at a level where they don't feel like they're just going to go and get beat up on. Because I don't mind. I go to Europe and get beat up on all the time, but I just enjoy going and playing and drinking beers. So chatting shit.
I've not experienced ACL because I don't travel abroad, and I couldn't go to the one last year. But
I think they're doing senior discounts, man. Surely we can get you a cheap ticket. I'm just kidding, John.
But I think the Americans that came over for the ACO, they were great. They love being here. They love playing with us guys. And okay, we're not going to stand a chance in hell against most of them, but they're humble with it. Then they don't take the mickey, the fact that they've won. You're part of the cornhole family.
Yeah.
That's what counts, I think.
Well, I can assure you, man, the ACL guys that are coming over are the same way. They truly are, man. I don't think any of them were. I haven't encountered a single one that wasn't willing to have a conversation, wasn't willing to throw some bags with you if you wanted to. So I think I'm glad that you got to experience that with all the ACL guys. I think that's amazing. But I hope everybody understands that these ACL guys that are coming over are the same type people, man.
Yeah.
You get a Sean Farrell whose whole goal in life, and Denny Mallon, to be honest, is the same. Their whole goal is just to grow the sport and take it back to just having a lot of fun doing it. So these guys are coming over. They have a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, Dean Norton was over with his whole family, and we sat there and talked to him and his family for a while, and they were just good folks,
And his daughter won the challenge, didn't she?
Yeah, that little girl, man. Whoa, you talk about a workhorse. That's all she did, man. But it was good. And so understand that these guys coming over, John, and especially like the Europe guys, they're all coming over to have a good time too. So, I mean, everybody wants to win for sure, but yeah, they're still down to have a good time, drink some beers, have a good laugh. So we're hoping you guys can come down.
Yep, indeed.
I think it'll help now too, because since Tony went to Trier, now he's got that bug a little bit and he likes it. So you won't have any excuse because he'll just drive again, won't he?
See, Tony was one of my highlights from Trier, and it wasn't even cornhole related.
Nope,
It was the last night we'd gone out for food and drinks, and I don't know what the shot was, but it was getting passed around. And most people, they go like that, they take a whiff, and they'd be like that, nearly knocks them out. Just gets to Tony, just bang, like it was water. Just did not affect him. And that is just one of my highlights of Trier. Just Tony with this shot of whatever it was.
Mine was being in like town center, and him trying to explain to me with no bow, because obviously we're in the middle of Germany with no bow.
I think somebody's got a video of that.
How you got to pull and draw a longbow.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody's got that on video.
I got it on video. I made them send it to me because it was amazing. So yeah, it's a good time, John. And obviously, you'd be well liked, and much like you are with all of us. I can't imagine any of them not liking you. and you'll be treated just as good.
Well,
I think you should put your name down for consideration for Team GB.
I don't travel. Cornwall is as far abroad as I go.
Okay, you don't have to tell us. I don't want to get too personal with you if you don't want to, but is this just a personal choice, or is it like a fear, or is it just you've just never been a traveler?
I've never been a traveller. I mean,
Do you own a passport?
Yeah, I have a passport,
Okay.
but I've never used it. I've renewed it, but I've never used it.
You never know when you might need it.
Well, my son, he works abroad, or he goes abroad quite often, and I think sort of in the early days of that, it was, well, if you need somebody, then we need to be able to get there. So
Sure.
why we got the passports. But I went to Spain, hated it.
How do you hate Spain?
Well, when I went, Spain isn't like it is now. I'm talking quite a long time ago. So Spain was developing. So we went abroad, didn't like it, so we didn't go.
Still during the Spanish Inquisition, like.
Well, out of 7 days that we were there, it rained for 6. There were cars that looked like golf balls because they'd had a hailstorm the week before we went.
Oh,
and
jeez.
The hailstorm was hail the size of your fist. So all the cars that were battered just looked like golf balls. So didn't enjoy that. Didn't go again.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. Well, we're going to get you to go this time. Let's go, Croatia. It'll be a lads and ladies day weekend out, man. Let's go.
Problem is as well, I don't drink.
I know, that's why we want you to go. To keep our dumbasses in check.
Oh, no.
Well, if you're not going to travel, if ever at some point down the line we get it growing enough in the UK that we happen to be the host nation for the World Cup, you've got to put your name down then.
I'd probably put my name down, but whether I think if you're going to go, you've got to deserve to go. You've got to do it on merit. You know,
I agree.
Yeah, well, you're up there in the rankings. You have another good performance, you could be in there. I know I've got to pull something out of the bag going into Q4. There's, I think, 10, 11 people above me, all that are, I don't know if they've all expressed interest, but they're all eligible. Because obviously, Daniel Lilly, he's ACO affiliated, he's their Europe director, so he won't be going out. And then the others ahead of me are UK nationals, so I know I need to pull something out of my backside going into Q4 if I want to get that automatic place.
Yeah. Well, I wish you all the luck in the world because you've been to the GBO.
Yeah, I'd like to do it a third time.
You'll be the only 3-timer.
Yeah, and I like to think my experience from the previous year came into play, like when we were out there. Like there are a few games with me and Ollie, like it was a certain situation and he was about to throw a bag and I'm like, look, just stop the game, time out, just walk down there, have a woodman. Like, because there was one situation, they've got bags over the hole. It's literally a case of Ollie's bag hits the board, they're falling. He didn't need to throw the bag. We'd already got enough points to get to 21, and I've stopped him mid like backswing type thing. And I think that experience comes into play sometimes. So
For sure.
who knows? Maybe that's enough to get me the wild card. I don't know.
Maybe. Because you would be the only 3-timer, right?
Yeah.
Because the first year was you,
the
Daniel,
first year was
Adam.
Dan, Adam, and Jeff couldn't make it last year. Yeah, because he was ahead of me and others in the order of merit. Yeah. Oh. It would be nice. Obviously, it'd be nice to, if it ever becomes an Olympic one, that's the ultimate goal. But I think that is years down the line. I think
Yeah.
when it gets to that point, the ones who from the UK will be considered for the Team GB will be the likes of Austin, Ali's son.
Charlotte. It'll be Austin, Charlotte,
Charlotte, Cooper.
Yeah.
Cooper's American.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but it'll be them. They'll be the ones that are in consideration for Team GB by the time it's in the Olympics, I think. But we'll all be grey and old and
We'll all
collecting
be,
a bus pass. Yeah.
if we're lucky.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go deck around real quick.
Yeah. Right. How did you get into cornhole?
Okay, so 3 summers ago, family party. Tony, the guy who collects hobbies, turned up with 2 bits of wood, not to scale, not the proper size. One had an American flag painted on it. One had a British flag painted on it, the Union Jack. And we had bags that were probably 3/4 size that he'd made with corn in them.
Yeah.
And I sat at the side and I thought, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to make myself look stupid. And I had one go in the whole afternoon. But those boards, they sat in the garden for 7 hours and they were never on their own. There was always somebody throwing bags. So as a family game, it was great. Come the next family party, he'd got proper size boards, he'd got his game changers, 2 sets of game changers, and I had a go. Wasn't very good, as any of us are when we first throw bags. Tony then started up Cawley. We had once a month, a couple of hours at Cawley Village Hall, and that's where I sort of got into it. Enjoyed it. Tony went to qualifier 1, the Northern qualifier, came back and said, it's amazing. You'd love it. He says there's these 2 American guys. They don't miss the hole, you know.
Matt certainly didn't.
One still doesn't. I don't know what happened to the other guy. But yeah, so that was leading up to Southern qualifier at Oxford, the first one, I think. That was my first game proper. So we met Jeff on the way in between and did a couple of rounds at Stratford. They said, come along.
So sort of half answered it. So how long have you been playing?
So as a game, I played it probably sort of 3.5 years ago. As a sport, 2 years. It's probably just about my anniversary from sort of qualifier 1 down in Oxford.
Yeah, I think it's about right. I think it was an early one. Yeah.
Well, the first 2 were in Manchester, then the third one was in Oxford.
Yeah.
I think that's the one where somebody took a tumble over a wall or in a bush or something like that.
Or out of bed, jacked up his thumb.
Yep. That'd be the one.
Your cornhole goal or goals?
I guess to throw Friday night bags on a Saturday, which
that's
not the best answer we've heard yet.
That's an awesome answer.
It is. That's the best answer we've heard yet.
On a Friday when there's nobody watching, Tony and I and the other guys at Coventry will be lobbing bags, and Tony will be saying to me, "That's an awesome shot, Jon. I can't play those shots on a Saturday. You know, when the pressure is there, when you need to play that shot." The other thing is that half the shots that he says that's an awesome shot, it's not the shot that I was trying to play that came out. But it looks good. But yeah,
I think we've all had a few of them. Like I played Josh at the weekend. I hit 2 roll shots against him. I wasn't intending to hit a roll shot either, Robert.
I
But
know it.
I mean, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the other thing is I'd like to win the lottery, the Euro Millions. That would be a goal, and then I can set up the National Cornhole Centre. You know, have a building dedicated to it, plenty of courts, get a minibus and a van for Pally so that you can take it out to the schools. A home for the UKCL that they can use at any time with no pressures, no costs, and you know, that sort of thing would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we have a Frankie and Benny's here. I mean, it was a Frankie and Benny's. It's been abandoned now for well over a year. But I keep saying, if I win the Euro Millions, man, I'm getting that building, and it's becoming a cornhole, all like a cornhole, you know, purpose built for cornhole.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Right, and yeah, cornhole highlights so far.
I think the first time I realised I could play, which was at a reasonable level, and I think it was a little bit false because he wasn't on his best, but 23 rounds with Matt Richardson. I don't know if you guys remember it. I think sort of it was the David and Goliath time for me. And went 23 rounds. He beat me 21-19. And it was 2 bags that he had on the board that I had off the board that was the difference in the game. That's probably the highlight.
Yeah.
A lot of respect.
Your favourite shot?
Anything that goes in the hole's pretty good. I think I like it when somebody puts something on the board I can hit. So probably a bully where you sort of, it gives me something to aim at, something to focus on, and sort of to bounce off, stops my bag going on the floor.
What bags do you currently use?
Okay, so the weekend I borrowed a set from Tony, which were lucky bags, but I didn't get on with those at the start. The conditions and my throw just didn't go together. So I went back to my swag kaboons. John Chivers. They just play so nice. They were his old bags, and they're so worn out, but they play beautifully. They just suit my style. It's like a pair of comfy slippers, you know. I've got Grendels from IMF. I've got a set of that I love, but you have to be on slow boards for me to play those. Otherwise, my bags are in the car park.
Yeah. Right, and next, your favourite player?
Favourite player? Ooh, I haven't got one favourite player. It's a bit like sort of who's your favourite child. I'm not going to have a favourite player. If
that's weak. Pick somebody.
I will pick somebody, but it'll be 2. A lady and a man, which is Craig and Ashley Irving. Absolutely fantastic people. Came over for the ACO, came down to Ashby. The Americans that came over, I think there's 5 or 6 of them came to Ashby. They hired a taxi for the day. I think it cost them about 600 quid or something like that. They hired a taxi for the day. They came down from Manchester, spent the day with the guys in Ashby, then went back and had something to eat. They experienced fish and chips, the locals, the castle and all that sort of thing, the stately home and things like that. The things that are a little bit off the beaten track for visitors. And then they came to Ashby and spent the night with us, and it was awesome. They're just fantastic people, and from that I follow them, which is why I sort of watch the ACO, because I know these people.
Yeah.
guys with the ACL.
No, we get that, like, because like we've been to a few ACL things, like with Paris. Like, I've been to Belgium a few years ago, then Paris, then we had Trier. So we've met a lot of the ACL people. So I think that's why we followed the ACL more than the ACO, because like you know those players, we know these players.
Yeah, for sure.
I was on Saturday morning because Ashley was in the ladies' final. She had to double dip Kim. Can't think of her surname. It was Kim Dice before she got married.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did the first game, didn't manage in the second, unfortunately. But yeah, I love those guys to bits.
That's all right. Yeah, I can dig it.
So, your dream cornhole partner?
Now that's even harder. I mean, naturally, Tony and I are together as partners. We were for UKCL doubles, and we're going to be for the ACO doubles. So that's a natural matchup, and I think we sort of agreed a long time ago, you know, that if there's a doubles going, we'll play together.
Good. Let's get you signed up for the ACL doubles too.
Yeah. But both of us hate doubles. I don't like doubles.
Why?
Well, okay. So put me with you, Josh.
Okay.
You want to win.
Which I'd be honored to do.
But you want to win, and I don't want to lose it for you.
I get that.
I put a pressure on
That's the main problem.
That's where I went wrong in Paris, and it ultimately made me play worse because I put too much pressure on myself.
Yeah.
I mean, locally, I mean, Tony, I've got Mark Pallett, great guy to play with. Nick Pettit, love the guy to bits. Ben Gregory, Ali. I mean, Ali, I would drive Ali mad because I wouldn't do the shots that Ali would want me to do, and sort of, you know, his head would explode. Stick me in the UKCL. I mean, there's yourselves. There's Danny Goodyear. You know, I'd love to play with Danny because he's so lively. He's bouncy. Ian Biddulph. I'd love to play with Ian. Micah Davis. I mean, what a nice guy. I'd love to play with Micah. The Americans, Craig and Ashley. I could love to play with them. When they came to Ashby, I teamed up. I was double partner with Shannon Roberts. And no, she said, just as you said, she doubles with me anytime. I don't know why, because I play crap when I get into those situations. But I will choose somebody, and it's Matthew Davis, Batman. I don't know if you guys remember him. He's such a character, and I would love to play with the guy. He fronts the ACO Adaptive Cornhole, where they do the wheelchair. An ACO pro sits in a wheelchair alongside somebody who is started off for the injured veterans over in the States, and he fronts that. You know, what a guy! Absolutely. And he coached. He did a little bit of coaching with us guys, as did Craig. You know, when they came down, really fantastic people. So yeah, I reckon Batman would be good.
Yeah.
Short answer there.
It's all right. I don't think any of the quick fire deck rounds have been quick fire. Yeah. So.
Well, have you ever seen me throw a deck around?
No.
No, but I played a game against you, and I know we like to take time. We like to get our money's worth. So it's
nothing we've done in this podcast has been quick.
Right, next, your favourite thing about cornhole?
It's got to be the people.
Yeah.
You know, I've been accepted into a family, and friends are the family that you choose.
Yeah.
You know? And I haven't met anybody yet who, forgive me for saying it, is an arsehole. You know, in the corner.
I don't think there is one yet. No.
I mean, there's a few arses. No, I mean, there's such a lot of lovely guys and girls, and you know, they're just special. And the people at Ashby, you know, it's changed me as a person. Playing cornhole is great.
And then your last one, if you had to have a walkout song, what would it be?
All right, okay. I'd like to walk out to Eminem, One Shot, Two Shot.
Yeah.
I like it.
No, I was not expecting you to say Eminem.
But
John, gangster, dude.
that I was about to say it's not a nice song, is it? So season 2, I did my deck around and I made myself a pro. Did I ever feel like a pro? No, I didn't. So this year I didn't make the top 10, so I'm not a pro. So I turned up first event in my black shirt, so Back in Black by AC/DC.
Yeah,
that'd be the walkout. Although I think for the finals they should play Motorhead the Game, you know, the old Triple H.
Yeah.
They should play that just before you start throwing bags for the final. I think that'd be cool.
I think for the next one, when they get the kinks worked out and the live stream's working again, we should push for the final entrance music.
Yeah.
Not that I'm ever going to get there and have to think about what I want for my walkout song.
Nah. And get Flo with the polytunnels.
Yeah.
So John, you got anything for us, bud?
I was going to ask you guys sort of what were your surprises, and you know that we've pretty much covered that, haven't we? You know.
Oh yeah.
You know, that would probably be what I'd have asked you guys, and yeah, I could ask you questions off the deck around, but you tell me where to go.
Well, we're just not ready yet.
We've got something in the pipeline for when we're doing ours.
We got plans. We're just not quite there yet. We're gonna let all you guys out there and our lovely listeners out there get all y'all's deck arounds in first.
Yeah. So did you record any deck arounds at the weekend?
No.
No, we were too busy just talking. Everybody, hang on. I was too busy eating them like burger bombs from that Butcher's and the Philly cheesesteak spring rolls. I was too busy eating it or talking to people.
When you said you were bringing snacks
that's not
to
what
me,
was said.
Well, it went on to a post on Facebook that said snacks now, and I think Flo said snacks on the podcast. Snacks to me is crisps and
Chocolate bar.
Yeah, stuff like that. If you'd have said you were bringing sausage rolls, I probably wouldn't have had to make a cheese and pickle sandwich.
You could have still left that in your bag and gone and got one of them lamb pasties.
I did both. I actually didn't.
Oh, there you go. Good.
But I had a sausage roll.
Yeah, I think I sampled everything.
I hope you enjoyed it at least.
Yes, I did. It was beautiful. I've been told that the lamb pasties were.
So we, from the get-go of knowing the guys I work for that own the shop, their Scotch eggs are phenomenal, and that's always been my favorite thing. And there's a lot of things we do in there that are just really good. Like, we do a jerk chicken pie, and it's just amazing. But I have to say, man, the lamb and veg pasty is probably my favorite thing, and I almost eat one every day. I that's pretty much my lunch almost every day, man. It's just so good.
I love everything you brought. I'd have put them second. Them burger bombs weren't beaten by anything to me. That bacon jam and whatever it was in the middle of that. I was just,
the bacon jam.
yeah. They
Yeah,
were good.
I was all about the Philly cheesesteak spring rolls, man.
They were rounding out the top three for me.
Yeah, those were good.
I had a lot of that.
Well, I got to make the money back, so I hope you paid for all of them.
Every single one, even when you knocked the prices down, even when Simon said I could have some for free, I was like, no, I'll still put me pound in.
Well, I appreciate it. All right, John. It's been great having you on, bud.
Okay, well.
Oh, before you go, we'll go through who's on this week. What have you got on this week? You've got Ashby and
Ashby Tuesday 7 till 10. Coventry Friday 6 till 8 at the XL Leisure Centre.
Yeah.
So what day actually is your birthday?
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
So spending the day nipping over to see my grandson. And then who knows?
Well, hopefully it involves just things that make you happy, man.
Yeah, I mean, it will do. Saturday,
That's all that matters.
all the family coming around, so that's the celebration.
See, I don't know if I could think of anything more daunting than having the whole family come around. I love them all, but man,
yeah.
But I guess, hey, if all your family's like you, that's a good day. If all my family's like me, y'all can only imagine what it's like. So, well, thanks for coming on, John.
Yeah.
Graham, you got any more questions for the Wizard?
Just there. Like Josh says, thanks for coming on. Much appreciated, and happy 60th for Thursday.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, bud.
Hopefully see you soon on a Tuesday night. I plan on making the trip down to at least one before me and Josh go out to Switzerland at the end of the month. So hopefully see you soon.
Okay. Well, if I don't see you before, good luck in Switzerland.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Cheers, guys.
See you.
Bye.
Cheers, bud.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, man.
The Wizard.
Yeah. He's always good for a laugh. He's good for a nice. He's just an all-around great guy. So it's nice to have him on the show.
Yeah, I've said it many times. He said there's no arseholes in cornhole, and he's right, but he is the nicest guy in UK cornhole.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I would be shocked to ever hear anything bad about him.
Never heard anything bad about him. I think I'd end up backhanding somebody with me bag.
No, I would definitely have to question their
integrity. It'd be like, yeah.
But yeah. All right. So what else we got, man? Very night.
Yeah, you tomorrow.
Earth Motion.
Yeah, Wednesdays we have Featherstone Flyers. Thursdays, yeah, Chris. Newcastle Cornhole.
Chris and Charlotte, yeah.
Yeah, and then Fridays, as John just said, Coventry. I think Manchester is on this Friday, but I can't make it. And then Sundays, Solent.
Okay.
So, cornhole out there to be had.
There is. And we go in what, 3.5 weeks?
Yeah, so like I said, I can't make Manchester this time round, so my only chance for some practice might be making the trip down the M6 to Ashby. So,
well, hopefully the weather holds up and you can get the boards out in the garden. Maybe
I'll have to do that as well, because I can't go to Switzerland having not thrown. So, especially when I've got a rematch to give you for the trophy.
God.
Unfortunately, I don't have it on me to hold up. I put it pride of place on my desk at work for now. So
yeah,
I owe you a rematch while we're out in Switzerland for that.
You sure do, bud.
Yeah.
Hell, that thing might change hands a couple times when we're in Switzerland.
Thing is, we're going to have a good run of not waiting a while for games. So we'll have Switzerland, and then the week after we got Birmingham, and then the month after we got Q4 in April.
Yep.
And then I think we'll have a gap, and then it'll be nationals.
I'm gonna tuck you into going to Germany with me too.
We'll see. Who knows? Depending who has it, you might just turn up at my house one day. It's like, dude, get the boards in the garden. It's gamer time.
All right, bud. Another good show.
Yeah.
And for now, I'm Josh.
I'm Graham.
Just board it.
Or airmail that shit.
All right, see you, bud.
Yeah, bye.